Hey, hello everybody. Sorry, welcome. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. There's a lot going on as always. It says the Dubai Financial Services Authority, or the DFSA, the financial regulatory agency of the Special Economic Zone called the Dubai International Finance Center, has recognized two brand new cryptocurrencies that are now legal within the country, and they are TON. That is the Telegram Open Network coin that has constantly been in the news the last couple of weeks. And XRP. Yep. TON and XRP have joined the DFSA's initially accepted crypto tokens. They also have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin as well. A number of years ago, there were a lot of countries, nearly all of them, I would say. This was the beginning of the idea that cryptocurrencies might be a thing. They began to allow cryptocurrencies within their countries in something called like a sandbox. So it's like a general area, usually within a city, 4 blocks by 4 blocks, where like every business there is allowed to deal in one specific thing, cryptocurrencies, what have you. And everything that they basically do has to be reported back to the government so that over the course of multiple years, the government can look over all the paperwork and see exactly what they've been doing to get a better understanding as to if this new thing called cryptocurrencies could have a good and or bad effect on the actual country itself. A lot of other countries also began to heavily restrict the coins that were actually legal within their country. I think the first one to do this was Japan, I believe, where I think only 5 or 6 coins were actually legal. And this is why we heard, maybe the beginning of this year, I don't know what time it was anymore, where Cardano was finally legal in Japan, and that made major news because they only have certain coins within their borders that are legally able to be used. So we have heard, if you've paid attention to the news over the course of the last couple of years, that Dubai has not only, how do I say this? Everything that the US SEC didn't do, Dubai did. I'm smiling. You can't see my face. I'm also holding my hands up like I'm presenting something, but you can't see any of it. So basically, Dubai has made sure that they have proper regulations. They actually paying attention to the companies who are trying to do business within their borders. And another thing that we heard about was that while the SEC was parading Ripple around as if they had done something terrible, the company Ripple had actually gone to many other places around the world. Dubai was one of them. And they were basically seen shaking hands with leaders of Dubai. And now here we are. So, yeah. Also quite, exciting news, if you will. I always say anytime that we hear that a coin is not banned in a country, but is accepted, or cryptocurrencies in general aren't being given the throw around, it's a very good day for the space. In total, in just 1 year, the Dubai Financial Services Authority has recognized only 5 coins. The recognition comes into effect from the date of this notice and remains in effect until further notice. Basically, don't mess it up, because if you do, we'll make sure that you are not allowed here anymore. Yeah, very few coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and Telegram's TON token, which is very interesting. I don't own any TON tokens, but it's more of a, how do I say this? This coin just reemerged roughly around this summer, and the amount of news floating around it seems to be quite particular. They're also one of 5 coins in Dubai, so, take that how you will. We've been talking about it for the last couple of videos. I do believe that coin personally is incredibly centralized, if that actually means something to someone out there. But yeah, that's the Dubai 5 cryptocurrencies, or 4 cryptocurrencies and one token are allowed in their borders now. And yeah, let's move on. Also sure, why not? PayPal has recently received approval from the Financial Conduct Authority, or the FCA, to offer crypto services within the United Kingdom. We have been on this really weird, is it a train or a roller coaster or just a very weird moving elevator, where for some reason, this is my opinion, regulators are pretending like cryptocurrencies are like some big, gigantic, scary, weird monster. And they're taking like a very long time to actually like validate or approve or legalize a lot of these things within their space. Recently, and I mean it's more like a 5-year period at this point, the UK has kind of done everything in their power to make sure that they're mimicking the US, and I mean like economic policies, even in accordance with crypto. But they keep, I mean, this goes back a very long time, from them like restricting crypto ads on buses and on trains and at like bus stations and on TV, while allowing all these other things to go on. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. According to the FCA data, PayPal has now officially been registered to offer certain crypto asset activities within the UK, apparently since Halloween. According to the register, PayPal has requirements or restrictions placed on the financial services activities that they are allowed to operate within the country. Okay. This includes, but is not limited to, ceasing onboarding new customers and restricting existing customers to hold and sell functionality. Basically, the UK has made sure that if at any point the UK feels that PayPal is not doing what the UK wants, they have to cease adding new customers, and they also have to restrict existing customers within the UK from being able to hold and sell. See how I said it's like a little backwards, and they're pretending like first of all, they're pretending like crypto and then PayPal are like going to be the end all of the British pound, when it's just PayPal. Like they're doing basically like an even more limited version of what Kraken, Binance, and Coinbase are already doing. But okay. It says, and I quote, "The firm cannot expand its current offering in crypto assets." Adding that it includes, but is not limited to, exchange services, participating in initial coin offerings, staking, peer-to-peer exchange, and decentralized financial activities such as lending and borrowing. So basically, they're only allowed to let people buy Bitcoin from their website. They can't stake, they can't have anything DeFi, they can't lend, they can't borrow, and they can't have ICOs. So, I guess silver, like dirty silver lining, like the silver is like kind of rusted, silver lining, is that PayPal's allowed to expand their activities in some sort of way and therefore allow more people to get into the cryptocurrency Bitcoin space who may not be comfortable with buying on Coinbase or Kraken, and therefore since they already have a PayPal, they can already like buy on PayPal. So maybe that's a thing. I don't. What's does anyone live? I mean, of course, at least one person does. But I was gonna say, like, does anyone live in the UK? And can you explain to me, like, why these restrictions are a thing when they're not for other? Like, it's PayPal. Like, they're just. I don't assume that PayPal is going to have and or make an ICO or participate in one in any time soon. I could see a staking service, but why not allow PayPal to have a staking service? You can't use the argument of like money laundering, because everyone on PayPal, you have all their information. You have their name, you have their address, it's tied to their eBay, it's tied to multiple other things. You know exactly where they live and who they are. Why so many restrictions on something? Is it because they can't control it and therefore it's seen as like an evil? But then the other question comes into like, so why is Dubai doing so well? Why is Hong Kong doing so well? Like, what is up with the the UK's really trying the last couple of years to make sure that like people can't do anything with crypto, and I don't know. It's all very odd. That's the PayPal can do one thing within the UK regarding crypto news. Okay. Awesome. All right. Let's move on. Also in the news, the DWS Group, who we also heard about around 2 weeks ago, a $900 billion German asset manager, is reportedly looking to launch cryptocurrency ETFs for retail investors. I think the last time we heard about them, I think they were launching their own cryptocurrency ETFs, but they were only going to be eligible or allowed for institutions. The last time we heard about retail ETFs was, I believe, from Hong Kong about 6 or 7 days ago. Hong Kong is trying to not only legalize Bitcoin and crypto ETFs, but they're also at the exact same time trying to make it available for everyday normal people to be able to get into the market as well. DWS Group has entered into a partnership with Galaxy Digital, a cryptocurrency fund management company. This was announced in April. Okay, that partnership, awesome. This year to launch these funds on the European market. According to Bloomberg, Bjorn Jesh, DWS's global chief investment officer, said in an interview that the move is dividing cryptocurrency bulls and bears at the firm. Well, I will assume the bears probably have no idea what they're talking about, saying that some people believe crypto is worth nothing, while others say that there's at least the price of Bitcoin. That's what it says. Okay. So anyway, cool. Fantastic. Amazing. It is now, I can't imagine being the person who would say out loud that crypto is worth nothing, knowing, and I'll simplify it for everyone, knowing that Bitcoin alone transacts and has safely transacted trillions of dollars per month on 3 transactions per second. To know that those numbers exist, if you are a $900 billion asset manager, I'm going to assume that people who work there can count. If you can count numbers and you actually see that Bitcoin alone transacts trillions of dollars and you say that it's worth nothing, you should probably be fired from your job. I didn't say it in a mean way. It's more of a, like, you're working at you might want to go to McDonald's because you can't conceptualize numbers in that way. So I looked around and I literally typed in Germany, BTC, and ETF, and I found a bunch of them. Apparently, Germany already has tons of this. This one is literally called ETC Group Physical Bitcoin. They have a bunch of them. So I assume, the chart's going up. They're only going to continue doing well as time ends up going on, because now we've gotten to this really weird place where, speculation wise, while it is heavily believed that the US SEC is going to allow a or multiple Bitcoin ETFs at some point in the very near future, the amount of other countries who are constantly announcing that they're also at the same time going to be legalizing Bitcoin ETFs, launching them, and allowing retail investors, the timing just seems a little bit peculiar. Peculiar is the word that I'm going to use there. But sure, awesome, amazing. If this does end up happening, we are going to hear about it because that's what the cryptocurrency news is all about. I assume these will get launched because every other place in the world that has one today, Bitcoin ETF has one, like multiple of them. So just missing one place. That's the $900 billion German asset manager DWS Group is trying to launch cryptocurrency ETFs and allow retail investors to be able to invest in them as well. And yeah, let's move on. Also in news that I think people try to make news, but it's not that it's not news. It's more of a, we could have assumed that this at some point was going to happen. It says Binance might be ending its partnership with Advocash, ADV Cash, after leaving Russia amid concerns over money transfers. Binance may be stopping its partnership with Advocash, the Wall Street Journal has reported. The move follows Binance's decision to leave Russia due to new rules. So this is kind of a double-sided thing. Russia has been a country where we have ourselves heard over the last couple of years that, I mean, basically the government wants to control crypto. I was trying to figure out a way to dance around it. It's more of a, they're one of the countries who basically announced years ago that their banks would be controlling crypto, that they would make their own cryptocurrency exchange so that only people within Russia could only use that one platform. They're also the country who years ago it was proposed that the only people who would be able to deal in crypto were basically rich people. I think if you put more than $3,000 per year as a normal person, you would have gotten like a fine and been in trouble and all this other complete nonsense. So on one side, this is a country who has tried for a number of years to not only discourage cryptocurrencies within the country because their currency isn't the strongest, but also at the same exact time, we've read, you might have seen news that is apparently not the easiest to do business in that country as well. The other side of the dirty coin is that the United States has claimed that multiple cryptocurrency exchanges have actually violated sanctions protocols, in that the U.S. Files sanctions against any country that they don't like or deem to be whatever. And at some point, if you as Binance or Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini or any of the other places allowed or even had a person from Russia using your platform, you could then scream, you were violating sanctions. You allowed them to violate sanctions. You allowed for money laundering. You get the entire idea. So it, like I said, it's not that it's not news and it's not surprising. It's more of a, if you've been following crypto news about Russia since like 2017, this is like a light gasp at best. Oh, okay, cool. So fantastic. Binance continues to get paperwork in many other places around the world. They apparently have left, are no longer working with entities in Russia. Also, it's, Russia's not an economic powerhouse that would actually cause people to be sad because they weren't directly in Binance or Coinbase or Kraken and Gemini. Like, they're not moving markets. We've heard many times before, there's like 6 countries that kind of really move the cryptocurrency space. So cool. That's the Binance. Apparently is going to stop working with companies in Russia and or is leaving Russia. Money transfers. It all comes down to sanctions and politics, and that's just the way that the world is. That's the Binance news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also, I'm a little shocked because I really expected this to be not only major news, but like major news basically, because you'll see. What's the name of this thing? The Kuwait Finance House. There we go. The Kuwait Finance House's executive, Al Ajil, has apparently described Ripple, the company, as an outstanding company amid the Ripple partnership for instant cross-border payments. You heard that correctly. This, I'm not sure if this counts as a central bank, but yes, it has actually been confirmed that Ripple is now officially working within Kuwait. The Kuwait Finance House has announced that they have partnered with Ripple. And can you guess what they're going to be using to send money around the world? Tarek Al-Ajil, Kuwait Finance House's executive manager of digital transformation, has recently shed light on the bank's achievements in virtual banking, noting Ripple's role in furthering the movement. While fielding questions during a conference, Al-Agil disclosed the existing strategic partnership with Ripple. He particularly described Ripple as one of the world-class companies they work with to launch instant cross-border payments. Notably, Al-Agil made the disclosure in a panel session during the recent Breaking Barriers conference held within Kuwait. The Kuwait Times reported the development as well. Per the report, the KFH executive stated that KFH's online application had been a success. He noted that it garnered attention from the efficiency and ease of use and proved an innovative financial solution. Yeah, so as much as people pretend that this isn't a thing, like nearly once a week, we keep getting news that Ripple has partnered with like a major entity or a bank. And I think now this is just me. I don't know if everyone knows geography, but like when you partner with a country, it's kind of big. Like there's a lot of space to walk around and do stuff. And when you get news that like they're accepted all over the place, Japan loves them. I think South Korea is using them. There's a whole bunch of other places that are also using XRP, and you got Dubai. Now you got Kuwait. And, you know, people keep pretending that this isn't like monstrously incredible news because, you know, if we at any point got news that Dogecoin, that Cardano, that Tron, that Solana had been allowed in or had partnered with Dubai and Kuwait, everyone would act like, you know, it's the second coming. But alas, yeah, I only found this in a couple of places. This is why I said I was very, you know, confused, because normally XRP news tends to be quite prominent. I even found the actual page in the newspaper. Yeah, it's all in here. It's all in the text. I'm not reading all of that out, but the word Ripple is like there's Ripple right there. It's like all over the place. So yeah. In other major news, Ripple's doing the thing. Ripple made sure, and I'm so glad that they watched my videos and took my opinion. I don't think either one are actually true. I don't think they watched my videos or took my opinion. But I said years ago, I was like, leave the US and do business everywhere else. Can you imagine if Ripple had just stayed within the United States, waiting for the SEC to give them favor? Look how far they've expanded. So yeah, that's the Ripple has partnered with the Kuwait Finance House, and they're going to be using XRP for cross-border transactions. And I know there's one person. I can feel it. I can hear you. You're very far away, but I can still hear you. You're probably still sitting back in 2017 or 2018. For those of you who don't know, when it says that they're leveraging Ripple for cross-border payments, Ripple, the company, has basically smashed all of their payment things into the XRP ledger. So anytime that anyone is using any of their payment services, it's on the XRP blockchain as the actual payment rails. So this is actual confirmation that the Kuwait Finance House, and it said bank in the article, is using XRP as well. This is why I said it's okay. It's okay. I got it. It's okay. Calm down. I know some people are stuck in 2017, 2018. You might not have been here for those particular videos, but Ripple has made it so that every payment is now going through XRP. So every time you hear that they've partnered with a central bank, a government, it means that XRP is used in the background. Also, for those of you who missed it, we also know that officially Ripple has slowed down their sales of XRP, because like when they actually have the unlock every month and then they relock it. So now governments, banks, corporations, and entities have to buy XRP on the open market. And this is why we keep seeing these like price swings up for XRP, because behind the scenes, they have to buy hundreds of millions of dollars worth of XRP on the open market. That's the XRP Kuwait Finance House news. And yeah, let's move on. Next up, I don't get this article. Like, I don't get it. So Cathie Wood is, I would use the word popular within the cryptocurrency space. Anytime she breathes heavily, she ends up making it into the news. She's very famous for, what is it? Buying Coinbase stock. She believes that Coinbase is going to be like the biggest company on the planet in the future. I think recently she was in the news because I think she sold some of the Grayscale shares and then ended up buying something else. It wasn't Google. Maybe it was more Coinbase. I'm not really sure. She also has a lot of Bitcoin. She loves Bitcoin. She thinks Bitcoin is the it coin and it's going to be there forever and blah, 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 all these other stuff. So whenever she talks, people ends up and they listen. You know, she's rich. You got to pay attention. That's how the world works now. So she was recently in the news at some type of a conference and someone was asking her questions. And I mean, I'll put it to you this way. You're really hungry. Like you right now, you're starving. And I lay out 3 options in front of you. I'm like, I have a pizza, I got a rock, and I have like an old mushroom. It's actually not a mushroom. It's actually one of my old socks. It's not one of my old socks. It's just a piece of mold. It's not actually mold. It's something I found under a desk and I don't know what it is. Which one do you choose? Okay, maybe it's not like that dramatic, but they were asking her like simple questions like that. And then when she was answering normally how we would have expected, it made very popular news. Cathie Wood, the founder and CEO of Ark Investment Management, has an optimistic outlook on Bitcoin's future. I would have never guessed. I mean, it's not like she holds Bitcoin, has been buying Bitcoin and loves Bitcoin and is always talking about Bitcoin. And she recently shared her enthusiasm on Bloomberg's Marin Talks Money. I guess that's someone's name. Marin Talks Money's podcast. In the conversation, when presented with the choice between gold, cash, or Bitcoin as a 10-year investment, Wood confidently declared her preference for Bitcoin, saying it would be her pick hands down. So listen, I mean, maybe there's one of you out there, but as far as I know, none of us are like in investment professionals. Like, I don't have a degree in it. I don't have any pieces of paper. I don't have all that fancy stuff. But I can read numbers. I've looked at charts a lot of times throughout the years. We've looked at charts together. Think about that. And we've seen on the screen, you guys know the number. If you had put $1 into Bitcoin when Bitcoin first started, you would have $38 million if you had put it into Bitcoin and $1.94 if you put it into gold. I don't understand why. Maybe gold was in that conversation for like maybe new people who are in the market who haven't seen those charts and they think that gold in some way could be a contender. That seems to be maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. As far as cash over the course of the next 10 years, not to scare anyone here, but inflation isn't going away. And I mean that not as a joke. Like, inflation will always be with fiat currencies. And we've seen before in the very recent past that inflation can go quite high even for the world's reserve currency. And normally, inflation rates tend to be around 2 to 3% on average yearly already. So I would not expect her, as she believes that Bitcoin is going from 35 something or other $1,000 over $1 million, that she would be going for cash when even if you averaged it to 3% a year, that's 30% of a loss over the course of a decade. So why would she? This made incredibly popular news. This was all over the place, talking about how Cathie Wood, the person who has been talking about Bitcoin for the last decade, prefers Bitcoin over gold and over paper money. I feel like I could have told you that. Like, I feel like we could have sat in a conference and you could have asked me, like, you can ask me, like, what is Jack Dorsey and Cathie Wood, like, how do they feel about crypto? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never heard them speak about it before. Like, I don't know what they would, so very popular news. This one says, why Ark's Cathie Wood believes in Bitcoin over gold and cash. And then it says, and I quote, Bitcoin hands down. Cool. I think just math is a very important thing. You know, I know it wasn't everyone's thing in school. I had terrible math teachers. I mean, just really rude, awful people. And I realized only as I got older, not only did they not try to help me, they only kind of like made fun of me when I got something incorrect. And it was like, you're going to go places. You're going to be a great teacher for the next couple of years. Cool. Awesome, Cathie Wood, that you prefer the asset that has gone up by millions of % over the course of the last 14 years. I mean, you know, I'm not going to go into another rant about gold. I've done that far too many times this month, but it's like, I don't get how I don't like, unless you like want gold teeth or like a gold chain or maybe like a gold ring, like Mr. T or something like that. I don't. And I know someone out there was like, who's Mr. T? I don't get how anyone could invest in gold. Like it's not even a hedge against inflation. Like you basically get the exact same money that you had in it 10 years before. So you've actually lost money. I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.